How old are you?
I'm 25.
And how old is your man?
He's 53.
I'm gonna sleep with you.
What's the most a man should spend on a first date?
Ooh. Okay, the most. I wouldn't say like with the most, but I think the minimum. I feel like within the like 200 to 300 range is like normal.
That's the minimum?
Yes.
What makes you think that's normal?
And that's me being like nice. Like I feel like if you're trying to take someone on a really nice date and really trying to impress a girl, like okay, you're paying for dinner at a nice place. You're doing.
This is a first date we're still talking about.
Yeah, don't you want to impress the girl on your first date? Like you want to show her a good time, get drinks, get dinner, do something else. Like I don't know.
But is that realistic for a man to want to spend $300-400 the first time he's getting to know a chick?
I think so. Otherwise, what are you doing? If you're not trying to impress someone, you're just like wasting your time. You're just You're just trying to screw them?
Let's go get slushies at Sonic.
We can do that, but wouldn't you want to like really impress the girl first?
So be real with me. Be real with me. Have you ever given it up to a guy who spent $0 on you?
When I was like 18.
Okay. So what makes you think that like a guy should have to pay now to, get back to the same spot?
Because I'm not 18 anymore. I've realized that you have to have standards in life, and I'm not just looking to screw around.
But you don't think that's superficial? $300-400?
I don't think it's superficial because I'm not asking you to take me on a shopping spree. I'm asking you to like show me a good time and like show me that you care enough to take me to a nice place, to try to impress me. It's not because you're spending XYZ. It's because you're trying to show me that I'm worth this much.
Have you ever wondered what's the price tag of a first date? In the world of romance, it's no secret that first impressions matter. But what about the financial implications? Let's delve into the story of a woman who insists that a gentleman should drop a minimum of $300 on their first encounter. She's not shy about this expectation and even suggests that she's being quite generous with this figure. Now, how did we get here? The societal norms around dating have always been a bit murky. Traditionally, it's been expected for the man to foot the bill, but $300? That's quite a leap from the standard dinner and a movie scenario. Yet this woman asserts this is the bare minimum a man should spend to impress her, which raises the question, is impressing her the sole responsibility of the man? This expectation seems to pivot on the belief that the man's role is to win her over, while she doesn't bear the same responsibility to impress him. It's a curious shift from the traditional give-and-take dynamic that forms the foundation of most successful relationships. Now, let's rewind the clock a bit. This same woman, when she was 18, had no such expectations. In fact, she admits to being intimate with a man who didn't spend a dime on her. Fast forward to her present-day standards and we're looking at a $300 entrance fee. It's a startling contrast that begs the question, why the sudden shift in expectations? Could it be that as she's aged, her standards have evolved, or perhaps she's trying to compensate for past experiences, setting a high price tag as a way to ensure she's valued? Either way, it's a fascinating exploration into the changing landscape of dating norms and expectations. So, is a $300 first date the new norm or simply an inflated expectation? As we traverse the ever-evolving world of dating, one thing is certain. The conversation around it remains as complex and intriguing as ever. How much should a man invest in impressing a woman on a first date? Now this is a question that's been asked for ages. And yet it seems we're no closer to a consensus. Our friend here seems to believe that the onus of making an impression lies solely on the man's shoulders. She expects a man to shell out $300 at the very least, just to catch her interest. And her contribution to this dance of attraction? Well, she doesn't feel the need to impress him at all. Now let's take a step back and examine this scenario. In the grand waltz of dating, isn't it usually a two-way street? A mutual trade of efforts, interests, and yes, impressions? If one party is expected to invest heavily in making an impression, shouldn't the other party reciprocate in kind? The dynamics at play here are quite intriguing. On one hand, we have a woman who feels entitled to a grand display of interest, a hefty financial investment, with no obligation on her part to return the favor. On the other hand, we have a man who is expected to bear the brunt of this one-sided transaction, with no guarantee of any return on his investment. What does this say about the power dynamics in modern dating? It seems to suggest a skewed balance where one party holds all the cards and the other is left scrambling to meet their expectations. But is this truly fair? Shouldn't both parties bring something to the table? Shouldn't both parties strive to impress the other? There's a certain charm in a balanced dance of attraction where both parties invest equally in creating a memorable experience. It's not just about the money spent, but the effort made, the thought put in, the genuine desire to understand and appreciate the other person. So, here's the question we're left with. Should only one party shoulder the burden of making an impression? Does age and experience raise the bar for dating expectations? As we delve into the past, we find a young woman, barely 18, navigating the thrilling waters of romance. At this tender age, the price tag of love was virtually non-existent. She willingly gave her heart and more to a suitor who spent not a dime on her. The thrill of the chase, the butterflies of first love, the excitement of the unknown, these were the currencies that mattered. Fast forward a few years and the scene changes dramatically. No longer is the simple thrill of connection enough. Now, the woman demands a minimum of $300 for a first date, a stark contrast from her earlier years. But what has sparked this change? Is it the bitter taste of past heartbreaks or the wisdom that comes with age and experience? This transformation in dating expectations is not uncommon. As we grow older, our perspectives on love and relationships evolve. We begin to value our time more, recognizing that it is indeed a precious commodity. We learn from past experiences and raise our standards, seeking partners who are willing to invest not just emotionally, but financially as well. The woman's past reveals a trajectory of changing expectations, from zero financial investment to a minimum of $300. It's a narrative of progression, of learning from past mistakes and setting higher standards for future relationships. But here's a question to ponder. Does this shift in expectations reflect personal growth, or does it hint at a more transactional view of relationships? Is the hike in dating expense expectations a symbol of self-worth, or is it a tool to filter out potential partners? As we look towards the future, we can expect dating expectations to continue to evolve. Perhaps the $300 first date will become the norm, or maybe it'll be viewed as an extravagant relic of the past. Do past experiences justify the hike in dating expense expectations? That's a question each individual must answer for themselves, based on their unique journey through the realms of love and relationships. Would you pay a premium for something that someone else got for free? That's the question we're asking today. Let's take a journey back in time to when our subject was just 18 years old. Picture a young woman full of potential exploring the world of romance and relationships for the first time. She meets a guy, there's a spark, and without any formal date or financial expenditure on his part, they become intimate. Fast forward a few years, and the same woman now insists that any potential suitor must spend a minimum of $300 on their first date. It's an interesting shift in expectations, isn't it? It's almost like she's put a premium price tag on the same experience that was once freely given. And that, my friends, is what we call the premium paradox. So why does this happen? Why does the same woman who was once content without any monetary expenditure now demand such a high price? Is it because she believes her value has increased over time? Or is it a defensive mechanism, a way to filter out those who aren't serious about pursuing her? But here's the catch. The man who is expected to pay this premium isn't getting any additional value for his investment. He's not getting an upgraded experience or any guarantee of a return on his investment. He's simply paying a higher price for the same experience that another man got for free. And this brings us to the crux of the premium paradox. Is it fair for a woman to demand a premium from a man for the same experience that was once given freely? Is it fair to place a price tag on companionship, intimacy, or the potential for love? And is it fair for a man to have to pay this price knowing full well that he's not getting any additional value for his investment? Is it fair to demand a premium for the same experience or less that was once given freely? That's the question we leave you with today. As always, we encourage thoughtful conversation, and we look forward to hearing your thoughts on this intriguing paradox. Is the dating market adjusting to inflated expectations? In the world of dating, expectations can be as unpredictable as a sudden rainstorm. We've come across a woman who sets the bar at $300 for a first date. But what does this mean for the dating market? Are men willing to meet these high stakes, or are these expectations causing a shift in the dating landscape? If we consider the dating scene as a market, Every decision, every expectation, every standard set by an individual influences the dynamics of that market. When one party starts to demand more, it's natural to wonder if the other party will keep up or change their strategy. In this case, the woman's $300 expectation could be seen as her setting a high price for her time and company. But here's the rub. This isn't a simple transaction. It's not like buying a luxury product where you know the brand, the quality, and what you're getting for your money. This is about human connection, about finding that spark. Can you really put a price tag on that? And if you do, what does that say about your approach to relationships? Perhaps some men will be willing to meet these expectations, viewing it as a chance to impress, a challenge to rise to, but for others this might seem like an unreasonable demand, a barrier too high to cross, especially when there's no guarantee of a second date, let alone a lasting relationship. This could lead to a divide in the dating market, with some men willing to pay the high price and others opting out, leading to a split between luxury and budget dating. In turn, this might create a dating scene where genuine connections become secondary to financial transactions. So, what's the verdict? Well, it's as varied as the people involved in the dating scene. Some men might be willing to pay the price, others might not. But one thing's for sure, if expectations continue to inflate, we might see a significant shift in the dynamics of the dating market. Are men willing to pay the price, or are these expectations pricing women out of the dating market? Hopefully the latter. Please don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe with bell notifications, and share.